Hello, I'm here in Spain, and yesterday we went to Ronda, which has been a place of inspiration for many literary greats over the years. So there's lots of quotes around the town, and my sister challenged me to analyse one to share with you. So here is the quote. "The giant element leaps with delirious bound from rock to rock, until at last, broken and buffeted and weary from driving the numberless wheels, it subsides into a gentle stream which steals like happiness away down a verdurous valley of fruit and flowers." So if we imagine this is like a GCSE style question, let's think that the question is, what's the writer describing? So I need to first decide what my interpretation of this sentence is. I believe that, and I would write and argue for, the fact that the writer's describing the movement of the water. So having been to Ronda, there's a huge gorge and there's a big waterfall that then goes off into a stream. So I think the first half of the sentence is describing the waterfall, where the water's leaping from rock to rock and then it becomes broken and tired after having to make this arduous journey down through the rocks until it reaches the gentle stream at the bottom. So I believe it's a description of this movement of the water down through the waterfall, down to the river below. Okay, and now I need to be able to analyse some of the language in it. Well, it starts, actually there's personification throughout the whole thing. The writer personifies the water, so he gives the water human qualities. That happens right at the beginning. The giant element leaps. So I would suggest the element, the natural element, is water, referring to it as a giant, this huge, powerful force, and it's leaping from rock to rock. It also takes on human emotions. It becomes weary from this hard work that it's doing, and it feels happiness. So it has all these emotions. I think that helps us relate to this journey, to make it like a human journey. It's one we can understand. So suddenly we have a connection to this, the life and the journey of the water. To me, the sentence seems to be split into two halves. The first half, as I say, I think that's describing the waterfall. And there's really a lot of hard sounds. So he uses plosive consonants with the delirious bound from rock to rock. Listen to the hard sounds, the plosive d and b and k. It's hard sounds which I think help create this sense of movement and effort that the water has to do as it works through the rock. That changes later on as we get down to the gentle stream at the bottom. The sounds that he uses are much softer. So we've got the g and the s and the h. So they're much more airy sounds. They're not those plosive, hard sounds that we had at the beginning. They become much softer, replicating the calmness of the journey at the bottom as it reaches the stream. So there's lots of alliteration where the writer repeats the consonant sound at the beginning of the word. We have broken and buffeted. We have verdurous valley. We have fruit and flowers. And that repetition of those sounds, and it's always in couplets, it's always in pairs, I think it gives a sense of the movement. So broken and buffeted, fruit and flowers. It has a sort of to and fro sense to it, which I think replicates the movement of the water. What else do we have? We have a simile, don't we? So once the water's done the hard work, it's leapt from rock to rock and it's broken and it's tired when it gets to the bottom. That starts to sound a little bit negative, but then once it gets to the gentle stream, the language becomes very positive. It feels happiness, and there's this word verdurous, which means flourishing, freshly green, the valley, and we're surrounded by fruit and flowers. It's almost like that's the reward for the water when it gets down, this abundance of nature that it meets at the bottom. The simile, here. The water steals like happiness away. So it's almost a sense it's done its hard work and now it escapes. It escapes to enjoy the reward of getting to the bottom. In GCSE, it's always good to talk about the sentence structure if we can. And here, this whole thing is one sentence. So it's a complex sentence, multi-clauses, so lots of clauses. Clauses are the parts of the sentence, and there's many parts to it. And I suppose that we could say replicates the different parts of the journey down through the rocks, down to the stream. So we could say the multi-clausal, complicated sentence structure replicates the complicated multifaceted journey of the water down. I mean, obviously that's a stretch, because actually this was written in the 1800s when sentences were more complicated, they were longer, they were more complex. But remember, in English, we're always trying to find what is there in the writing and how can we fit it to what we're saying it's about. So if I'm arguing that this is about the journey of the water that it makes as it goes through the rocks in the waterfall and reaches the stream below, I'm going to fit everything I can find to that. So I would certainly do the sentence structure to that. Hopefully, I think that's everything. I talked about. Yeah, so there's the personification, there's the alliteration, there's the plosive consonants at the beginning, the soft sounds at the end, there's the simile there, there's the negative language when he's tired at the beginning doing all the work, and there's the positive language at the end. So all of those elements that I found, I would link to this journey of the hard work at the beginning as the water's cutting through the rocks in the waterfall, and then the change comes when it reaches the bottom. That's when the language becomes more positive. It's when the words become softer. And yeah, that's how I do it. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for listening.